Welcome to Angelo's Tennis. And I want to do a video on grips here. And this is going to be an introductory video. I'll probably do this again. I just recorded this whole thing and it didn't record. So I'm going to do it again. And it was really good. But here's my racket. I'm going to do this. It's a lesson on grips without being on a tennis court. I'm going to do it right here sitting in this chair. That's all you need. I know some people are visual learners. But this, I think you can manage. So, and I just want to say, if you're watching this video, I think I had a video with like 4,000 views, and I got like 10 subscribers off it, and that's not gonna cut it. I mean, if I want to keep making these videos, make these better, I need more subscribers. So help me out if you enjoy these videos at all. You want to see more? You want to see it get better? I got lots of big plans. Subscribe, like the content. So here we go. This is your tennis racket. I'm right-handed. You're gonna take the racket with your left hand. All right, you're gonna take it with your left hand. You're gonna move it if you're right-handed. You're gonna move it to your right, and let's say we're gonna use Roger Federer as an example. A lot of people know that he likes to have at contact. He likes to have his arm fully extended. And let's say the racket is obviously the point of contact's out in front, and he likes his low bouncing. He likes to take the ball off the bounce. He likes his half volleys. He likes his grass. So we're going to take the racket and put it in that position. A little bit lower, maybe waist high, a little lower than waist high. Arm extended, and then we're going to grab the racket. And that gives us an Eastern. I know you can't see it, but try it for yourself. It gives us an Eastern grip. Andre Agassi. One of my old favorite players. A little different. Known for a slightly bent elbow. Rackets out in front. Slightly bent elbow. Probably going to be a little bit higher than the waist. Put the racket there with your left. And I'm going to just take my arm, slightly bent elbow, come up to the racket, and I'm going to get a semi-Western grip. Western grip. Say you got a little kid. He's hitting balls above his shoulders. Rackets out, contact points out in front. Take the racket with your left. He's going to have a bent elbow. Above the shoulder, grab the racket with your right. Western grip. That's how you get a Western grip. Continental. Take your racket with your left. Put it close to your body. I'm sorry, to the perpendicular to your body, to the right here, so that the contact point is not out in front, but perpendicular here to yourself. Grab your racket, no bent elbow. I don't have room here, but straight elbow. You're going to get a continental grip. So volleys as well. A lot of times where that grip comes from, I know you're supposed to volley out in front, etc. But if you want to see where you get that grip, that's where it comes from. So that's basically how you find your grip. Now, I was talking to somebody about this, or someone commented on my Venus video where she says you want to do a Eastern grip and then hold that grip and then play from there. And that's how you find your, wherever your contact point is, that's how you find your grip. And this guy must think like me because I think he gets it. But the thing about that is I've been playing tennis for 30 years, and I've also coached full-time. I could probably do that. You could probably tell me, here's a Western grip, play with a Western grip, and I can make it work. I could play with an Eastern or a Continental. It doesn't matter. And I know, even you could say Federer has an Eastern grip, or say has an Eastern grip. So we think. It's an Eastern grip. He can take balls at shoulder height with an Eastern grip or a semi-Western, etc. But that doesn't mean that's how you learn. That doesn't mean how grips developed. I'll tell you a story. This is how I first realized this was true. And that's in this book. That's in this book as well. This is all explained there. He gets into way more technical stuff than that. I'm not interested in that. I already understand it. It's not really necessary to know. But here's a little story when I first really realized this. I was on the clay court season, the outdoor country club season coaching, and then I come indoor to the hard courts. And one day after 2 or 3 weeks or so of playing indoors after coming off the clay, I noticed my grip was closer to Eastern. It was a pretty much Eastern grip. And that's when I first realized, when I was playing more semi-Western on the clay. And I did that without even thinking about it. I was just adapting to the conditions, adapting to the hard courts. I was playing more aggressive, and I was inside. I was just kind of feeling it all. Playing more aggressive, playing flatter, and my grip was changing. My contact point was changing. So that's the reason I tell you that story, is that I shouldn't say real, but players that are playing against tough players who hit with varied speeds and spins, and this could be anybody. It's just hitting with all these variations. You have to be able to adapt, especially at high speeds. It's probably more important for more advanced players. And this is also in another one of the tennis books I have on that one video for the development of stroke production. There's also an excerpt in that book where I think it's Miguel Crespo talks about grips and how everyone's grip is very individual. And the thing is, you don't want to limit. This is the other important point. You don't want to, by telling someone what the grip is, then you're limiting them. Now, of course, you can give them some kind of guideline if you're in that situation. But I'm going to show you how to really develop a grip. But if you're it's just like not very serious, you have to give them some kind of guidelines. But what you don't want to do is you don't want to limit them and tell them, this is the correct grip. This is the right grip. You shouldn't hold the racket like that. They should hold the racket any way they want to hold it, especially as a beginner. That's where you see them guys on tour doing this. Let them do that. It's all fun. They're learning how to use this thing. They're learning how to wield this wand. Because that's what Federer does. He's a magician. And that's how you become a magician, tennis magician. You have to know how to use this thing. There's no correct grip. So that's how you find grips. And I might show some things at the end here. Hopefully this video records, because I really don't want to do this again. Short tennis. This is where it starts. Short tennis. Most people think they know what mini tennis is. They don't know what short tennis is. That line there, that's a short tennis game. And you see Roland Garros right now. You see him hitting drop shots there, and you see guys coming up, hitting sharp angles, and the crowd's going crazy, thinking it's the most amazing shit they ever see in their life. When there's little 5-year-olds playing short tennis down the street at the club that knows what they're doing the same thing. Because that's where it starts, short tennis. And a lot of people skip short tennis, and that's why that looks amazing, because no one does it. No one does it because no one plays short tennis. Then you have mini tennis. That's where you learn all these angles. You learn how to control your contact point. You learn how to wield the racket. You learn how the grip. So, for example, if you're playing short tennis, you watch them guys. You ever see someone hold a racket like I can't do it here, but almost like a continental that's even more extreme? Like, these are the things you have to do to make these amazing shots. So you don't want to limit somebody by giving them the correct grip. And this isn't just for beginners. That's where I said this in the last video. It's all coming back to me now. The thing is, a lot of people are good listeners. They're good learners. They do what you tell them to do. I, fortunately, do not do what people tell me to do. I never was like that. There's a lot of people like me, but there's way more people that are just going to do what you tell them to do. Especially if you're a coach out there, you're the expert. You know, it's everyone on YouTube. Where did you play? What school did you play for? What were your ranking? Who gives a shit? Okay, because it doesn't matter. And this is the problem, because people are going to look to the expert, and that's why you got to be careful with that terminology. So I'm going to show you some videos. Hopefully I can attach some videos to this and show you the short tennis in action. And as you move back and start playing the ball, you can learn the different grips slowly but surely. So I'm not going to get too much into more detail. I could go on and on and on about this. At this point, I think you do need a court to show. You need to see some tennis to really see this in action. For a lot of people, it probably would help. So I hope you enjoy this. This is again an introductory video to this concept. You can tell. I hope you can tell I'm very enthusiastic about this. This is a long time coming for me. I'm just been through it with the tennis industry, and this is the last hurrah for me. Okay, it's online or nothing because I'm done. But I hope you can tell I'm enthusiastic, and I do enjoy tennis. I do enjoy teaching tennis, and I hope this brings some value to you and your tennis partners. Have a great day. Deal. But I want you I just want to point out a couple of things. These kids are playing mini tennis. I wouldn't necessarily call it short tennis, but we'll call it mini tennis. And look at the first thing I want to point out. Let me just back up here because he's gonna. Okay, they're playing with this red ball. They're playing in this condition here. They will not have anything except a continental or eastern grip. The way they're playing, it's virtually impossible, almost impossible. See that one? That ball was a little bit high, maybe close to the shoulder, but if you're playing red ball like this, it's pretty much impossible to play anything outside an eastern grip. So the kids will they'll naturally learn. See what she's learning to do there? Drop the ball, hit it forward. They're learning the eastern grip right now, over time. And when they move up to the next stage, the orange stage, the green stage, then balls will go higher, closer to their shoulder. They'll learn a semi-western, or they'll learn the grip that's right for them. Now the other thing to point out here, you can see, now this is where this video, I'm going to point out the flaws though. Okay, so these kids, it's not really, they're just kids having fun. But like if you're really serious, you can see the kids are hitting like a real game of tennis in the sense that they're trying to hit. You can tell someone tried to teach them a forehand. Because you see there, watch that girl there. She tries to make that little angle. And see how she kind of comes over tries to like come over the shoulder. You can see them going over the shoulder. That's how I can tell they were being taught. They're being taught how to hit a forehand. You can see them trying to come over the shoulder because kids don't do that naturally. And the problem with that is, what they should be, this is a little bit outside the scope of this video, but what they should be doing is trying to hit topspin or trying to hit targets, and then not worry so much about what the stroke looks like. And that way they'll learn to master the contact point a little bit better. See, they're doing things that don't really matter just because the coach is trying to teach them a forehand, quote-unquote, forehand stroke, which isn't really appropriate at this stage in their development. They could be doing backspins, top spins, lobs, volleys. There's so much more to do to master the contact point of the racket, the grip, to master the grip and really learn how to use the racket. Now, don't get me wrong; they're still learning that, but they're not. If you saw two boys, I'm gonna try to find a video with two boys. If you saw like two boys, and I pick out boys, it could be girls too, but if you saw like two really athletic boys who played a lot of sports, I mean, it could be the most insane mini tennis match you ever see in your life. It's very rare because they don't have the mental capacity, or they're not really, it does happen, but the mind's not quite able to do it. Unless they're really, really experienced. So, see if I can find another video here. I just did a video on her, the rise and fall of Emma Raducanu. And this is her 10 years old or so, and this is what they do. Now they're on the orange ball court. And you can do this. People can do this too. It's not just for kids. It depends on where you're at in the learning process. Now here, she's probably already been playing tennis and sports for a little bit. She's through the mini tennis stage. And now she's at the orange ball stage. And here, I'm going to pause it here. Because the people get to have a tendency to watch they get lost in the beauty of the strokes, etc. But here's where she's going to learn how to play with a semi-western grip. This game that they're playing right here, just as is teaching them how to use a semi-western grip. If they use that eastern grip that they used in the mini tennis game, it's not going to work. They're not going to be it's not as likely going to work. They're not going to be able to play the way they're playing there. Now, the thing to point out about this video, what they do with these kids is they'll give them lots of different experiences. They'll play with this ball, with that ball. That way, they're able to adapt to all these different contact points, and they're not grooving one specific grip. They're not grooving the yellow ball over the shoulder. And then as they do that, they can adapt, and when they become an adult, then they come into, they come into a grip that's not always the same, but it's close enough. Usually it's a semi-Western. So if you can do this, if you can't do this on a tennis court, you figure out a way to do this, whether it's by the court change, the ball change, and you will learn how to hit a semi-Western grip. Play topspin. Different forms of topspin. You'll learn how to use a semi-Western grip. Play topspin with an Eastern grip. Use them all. That's what I say. This little Mo tournament where we have 8-year-olds playing yellow ball. I don't think this is the yellow ball, exclusively yellow ball full court tournament. Now this is a 10-year-old. I think one of them, it says 10-year-old player. Watch the kid in the near court. Look at that forehand. That is a Western grip. And this is why he's hitting with a Western grip. He's hitting swing volleys, 9 years old, 10 years old, full court. He's precocious. You could say he's precocious. He's able to deal with the speed. He's playing against other 8-year-olds. His parents are willing to travel across the country to get the right partner, the right competition. Great shot. But he's got that Western grip. Now he'll adjust. He'll probably adjust. He's playing a lot of tennis, etc. But it's not ideal. It's not for somebody who's, you can do anything if you're really an all-arounder. Usually. But there's your Western. It's kind of cutting out now. I don't know. Come back here so you can see it again. There's your Western grip because he's making contact above the shoulder. That's why he's doing it. Nice shot.